And my background being in engineering, I also was looking forward to a place where I can concretize the issues that I've picked along the way. So the issues on disabilities, the issues on accessibility and universal design, or when you're looking at the issue of the legal issues in the accessibility and all that. Basically, I was looking for something that I can present to someone as a paper to show that, I actually am a professional in this. So, and I was also looking for a network around this issue of accessibility. Finally, I think I also got interested in this, into this because I thought, it's a place I'll learn more. I'll get to find new ideas on the issues of accessibility, new trends, and all that. So for me, Lee, three things here: professionalism, passion, and actually just finding competence in these issues. Thank you.
The reason I got certified is because in South Africa, and I'm sure a lot of the other African countries are the same, there's a lot of people who want in the accessibility space without essentially having the basic skills and expertise to do a really good job. So I wanted to get certified to prove that I had the right credentials to offer my clients the best service possible. So I'm certified level 3 in accessible built environments. There is a level 1 and a level 2, which builds on the CPAC, which has been referred to earlier. And so I think with the level 3, it's much more than just standard compliance. So we'd had a talk earlier this morning around the accessibility standards that you have here for ICTs. But being registered as a professional from an international body means that you not only meet your minimum standards as a requirement, but that you're able to apply international guidelines and best practice. And that's the reason I got certified. It sets me apart from anybody else working in the sector.
But I found out that many things were happening I wasn't aware of. But I'll start with what Colette pointed out at the beginning, standardization. You have to know what you're doing. Because I found out that providing technology support can be harmful if it's not appropriately done. And so many people were coming into this space, they didn't know what to do. I wasn't sure I knew everything myself. There were many things I wanted to do, but I was afraid of causing more harm than help. So I first tried getting certification in an organization called Rehabilitation Society of North America, but I found out that that was more concentrated on physical disabilities. And so when the opportunity came from the IAAP, that's the International Association of Accessibility Professionals, and there was a scholarship, I went in because I realized that it was going to validate what I was doing. It was going to give me the skills, and very, very importantly, it was going to put me in a network of people who were doing the same things so that we can rub minds together and help each other grow. And then we can be sure that we are providing the services with the kind of impact we really desire.
Thank you, Stephen. And Stephen, you also went through the Dale Scholarship. Could you just talk briefly about that?
Okay, yes. Christopher didn't let me get away with that. Okay, so yes, in 2021, I think, I got to know of the scholarship IAAP was offering for people in Africa, I think in low and medium income countries, to access the courses and certification from the so I think G3 ICT. And so it was an opportunity for me because I didn't really have the funding to really do those certifications. Now, and I knew a lot of people who were also enthusiastic. I think one of them was Ayola Ifunkoya, who is a journalist. He was on one of the panels yesterday, and he's also certified. I didn't even realize that fact. But, we started talking around these things, and there was a user group he had set up with some guys, and we started talking about it, and I was impressed that a couple of people started coming in, people that were not really in the tech space, because they saw the certification was, and there was an opportunity because of the scholarship for people who didn't have the money to also enter the space. And I said, this is very good, because with that kind of opportunity, it means that getting the knowledge around, getting the benefits of that knowledge around is now available to people. I think I'm happy that in Nigeria there are so many people I've seen. Many of them are not even persons living with disabilities, especially in the built environment space, and so many more in the disability space. So the scholarship is really helping, and I think it's important for people to key into that opportunity, because if you're going to do anything, please do it right.
So in a lot of the questions that we get coming through our support line, and we have monthly drop-ins, and in some cases every other week, where people can drop in and learn more about these certifications. They can read about it, but they can also ask questions through our drop-ins. One of the questions that we get mostly is how to prepare for these certifications. Now ideally, keep this in mind, you should be coming to IAAP, the association, with knowledge. Right? Our job is maybe to refresh your knowledge, maybe to fill in a gap of where things you haven't learned about as much. So ideally, when you come in, you should know as much. We have a body of knowledge that provides you an outline and a little bit more resources around what the domains of the certifications are. So the certification may have 6 domains. And you may look through and say, I know domain 1, I know domain 2, domain 3 I'm kind of weak on, and so on. You can dive in and do some educational training through us or through somebody else, through our approved providers. So it depends on your expertise, where you're at on your journey in regards to accessibility, knowledge of how you prepare for the exam. So the next question I have for everyone up here is that, what was the preparation for the exam like? And again, this is going to vary based on the knowledge that they had coming in before they took the exam. So Irene, I'll start with you.
I think the exam is very tricky. Let me start by saying that. So you might think you know, but you really don't. I struggled with that. In terms of studying, I think the fact that I had experience helped a lot, even though I still found the exam to be a bit difficult. So exam preparation is very, very important, and I know sometimes online you do provide a guideline about how to prepare for the exam. So I would say it's not an easy one, and what I would encourage, especially people working in the disability space, if you can take the certification, it's good for you. But I believe you need some experience to really take that kind of certification. And at the same time, because it's an international association, you get connected to other people who are certified, who are in the space, and you can communicate with directly. So it's a great network.
Thank you for the question. Let me also acknowledge, like Steve, that I also got a scholarship on to take on this course through the DARE Academy Fellowship, that is Digital Accessibility Research Education by G3ICT IAAP. And so to prepare for that, it's as Irene has said, yes, it's an intense course. I'm glad I was given a whole year to take the course. That does not make it easier to take the exam. I loved the opportunity they provided in terms of both online platform together with a platform designed together with the Princeton University, such that it was quite accessible for me to move from one module to another. And at each end of each module there'll be an exam, something you can take and just categorize yourself. Where have you reached, whether you've understood or you still need to go through the material. They provided both in accessible way, both text, audio, and the reference materials. There were also documents that they will provide, and occasionally what helped for me was checking how I'm progressing with the course, and that helped a lot, because if you have a whole year to do something, then you can sometimes fall back. And I like the fact that at the end of the whole 6 modules, there was an exam that you can do. It's timed. You can take on the exam, However, the interesting thing, once you've done, that's it, it's gone. So you get your marks, and if you are unlucky, you didn't follow the instruction, you won't even get to see the marks. For me, that exam helped me and helped me prepare for the course which I did take on last year in April. What else helped for me is the fact that I also had got bits here and there about accessibility, about disability, and the laws around that. So the knowledge is important. And as Irene has said, I also would love to encourage persons with disability to take on this course. It's very accessible, and not an easy one, but one that you can take on and do.
As I'd mentioned, I'm actually from the built environment, so I'm not actually blending in so well with all the digital talk. But in terms of the level 3, which is an expert level in the built environment, I had to submit a portfolio of evidence. So it's about proving the quality of your work, referencing international standards and treaties, and it also has to deal with how much you are involved with standard writing and development. So those are the types of things we'd be looking at a level 3 in the built environment. But for level 1 and level 2, we have a body of knowledge which is available for free on the website, on the IAAP website, and it gives you all the sections of information that you need to know and need to be familiar with. So it's very useful to work through the body of knowledge before you write your exam. But I also found that connecting with others in the network and just chatting about what have they done in terms of their preparation, having those discussions really opens up what it is that you know or don't know before you go into the exams. But I think everyone is very afraid of writing exams. Maybe we should change the word. Exams sounds very scary. But so it really is just about being certified. And if you fail, it doesn't mean it's the end. You can rewrite. I think you get 3 rewrites. So if you don't do the first one because you were nervous or you weren't as well prepared, there is another chance. And I'd encourage people not to think of it as the be-all and end-all. There's another chance, and you can learn from what it was you did the first time around. So that's a little bit about my field.
Yeah, great point. You can take it multiple times.
Good thing we had a year to prepare, and it isn't just, the body of knowledge on the site is just about 200 pages, I think, but don't be deceived, it gets you started, it doesn't get you finished, because you're going to now have to fight your curiosity. As you read it and find out new areas that you didn't even realize existed, you begin to think that you want to know more about these things, and then if you keep following and following, you find out that the year is almost up and your exams are just knocking at the door. But it was interesting, that's something I will say. And then, good thing was there was a network of people to discuss with. There were a few learning seminars, online webinars and things like that. And then very close to the exam, I had a session with Mohammed Latfi, who is, I think, one of the faculty leaders. And we were able to talk through the kind of challenges I was thinking I was going to have and all that. So with that kind of support, I went into the exam with confidence. I think it was a very long exam. I think it's about the longest paper I sat down to take. It's about 3 or 4 hours, I think. And well, I was supposed to be nervous, I think I was. But the fact was, because of that conversation I had with Mohammed, honestly, I was kind of prepared. So, and then during the exam, my supervisor was quite very supportive. She was firm, of course, but she was, she didn't give me the impression that she was attacking me. She gave me the impression that she wanted me to pass the exam, but she wanted me to do it the right way. And so it was very good and very nice. If you haven't taken the IAAP exam, don't be scared. It's really, really more interesting than difficult, the process of getting certified. So I would encourage you to try it.
So the next question I've got, Eric, for you is, I know you're pretty new to the CPAC, you just got it, knowing that. Has it opened any doors? What has it done for you?
I'm more confident in doing the accessibility, looking at the digital issues, and just even carrying out the accessibility audit. So there's an element of confidence. No money yet, but I hope it can translate into that. But more to that is the confidence it gives me, and two, also the fact that this is something that I can share with others. And in a structured way, something that I can talk to organizations, to groups of organizations of persons with disability. And for me, it has also helped me carrying out some of the activities that we undertake as United Disabled Persons together with other partners such as Site Savers.
Connecting with people from all over the world who are doing things that we want to do in our country. So I'm connected with colleagues in India, for example, to try and help increase accessibility in the prisons. And that's not directly related to my work per se, but it's through the network that I've been able to start affecting change in different areas. So the networking component of the IAAP has been very beneficial to me.
I have become part of a network of people like Colette who know the things I don't know and who've read things I've not read. And also a lot of people who are doing the things I am doing as well, and people who I can also help to come up. So knowledge sharing is very, very key, and that is what has happened with my certification. I belong to that group. I see the newsletters, I read what people have contributed. Once in a very long while, I have something to contribute as well. But the point is, I think accessibility is a lot about collaboration. Nobody can know it all. And getting certified started me on that journey. I am a blind person, but studying for certification exposed me to neurodiversity, intellectual disabilities, and all other kinds of areas, even legislation, standardization, things I never really thought had anything to do with my work, and it has broadened my horizon.
The last question, what advice would you give somebody who is thinking about taking the certification?
For me, I think it's imperative that people with disabilities, we take on this course, simply because one, it's a strong advocacy tool for us. You not only have the knowledge, but you also have a paper to show for it. That is one. Two, is because it's actually bring out the emerging trends out here. So of course you're hearing the issues of AI, the issues of virtual reality and all that. This is a space that they're discussing all that as they unfold.
I would say that accessibility can't be created by only a few people. The more people who know more about accessibility, the more accessible our world will become. And so it's important that everybody is understanding what does it mean to design for universally accessible facilities, environments, services, the digital space. We need everybody to know more. It's not for an exclusive few who want to work solely as professionals in this space. Everybody needs to know more about accessibility. So in preparing for the exams, there's a lot of learnings that might take place, but it's about continuing that learning journey. There's constantly videos online from the IAAP sharing knowledge, sharing trends, keeping you up to date with all the information around the globe, around what's happening in terms of accessibility. So if we're working in this space in terms of accessibility, you certainly should prove your credentials and get certified, share the knowledge, and ask others to join.
The knowledge is very important to everybody, and in this case, persons with disabilities, persons who don't have disabilities, it's good for business that you know. I mean, basically the essence of accessibility is not just for the beneficiaries who you want to say people with disabilities, but for everyone. You're a service provider. In whatever field you're working, you're providing a service or product. The more people who can use your service or product, the better for you. So when you get certified, in the process of getting certified, you get to learn to think accessibility in your work, in whatever you're doing. And because you're thinking that way, then you create that into whatever you are providing, and that expands your market.
I'm going to just take a moment and just please give a round of applause to our excellent panelists. Thank you so much. Y'all have been a great audience. Thank you.